Thank you so much for joining our webinar today with TeamViewer on how to strengthen your help desk. My name is Julie Duke and I am with Boss Solutions. Today's discussion on how to strengthen your help desk with TeamViewer integration. What we're going to cover in the next hour is how Bossdesk can be used to provide and manage a wide range of increasingly complex business services. We'll also show you how to resolve technical issues faster and increase user satisfaction with the TeamViewer cross-platform remote support. At the end of the webinar, we will be answering all of your questions and giving away 3 $50 gift cards. Today's presenters will be Vishu Nayagam. Vishu is our Director of our Director of Product Engineering here at Boss Solutions, and Mike Longley, Enterprise Solutions Engineer at TeamViewer. Just a couple quick notes before we get started. Everyone will be muted during the webinar. We do really want your questions, so you will find that there is a Q&A box. Please, all during the webinar, as we go through it, submit those questions. Then at the end of the webinar, our panel will actually go through all of those questions and answer them for you. This webinar is being recorded, so it will be sent out to all registered participants. After the webinar, we're also going to send you a survey. We really appreciate your feedback on what you liked about it and what you'd also like to see in the future. This helps us to bring you the best content possible in the future. Just to give you a little bit of an overview of Boss Solutions in case you are not familiar, we have over 25 years experience in IT service management. This includes Bossdesk, our ITIL service desk on the cloud, Boss Support Central, our service desk on-prem, and Boss 811, which is a one-call ticket management solution for the damage prevention industry. We have won many awards, including Gartner's Software Advice and Capterra, as well as a leader from GitApp. We are committed to bringing you the latest technology and, as always, the top level in customer support. Today's presentations, first, Vishu Nayagam will present how Bossdesk can be used to manage a wide range of services, and then he will go into the TeamViewer integration as well. After that, Michael Longley will present how to resolve technical issues faster and increase user satisfaction by using TeamViewer more in depth. And so at this time, I'll turn it over to our Director of Product Engineering here at Boss, Vishu Nayagam. Vishu?
Thank you, Julie. Can you see my screen? Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So today I'm going to explain, give you a quick overview of Bossdesk, and then I'm going to explain like how TeamViewer is integrated. We have a native integration for TeamViewer, how TeamViewer is integrated, and how we can like quickly resolve a support ticket right from Bossdesk and do remote sharing, remote control, and remote chat, and all those kind of things using TeamViewer. So Bossdesk is an ITSM-based product. It's completely cloud-based. It's process-driven. We cover a lot of ITIL processes in here. And also, it does come with a great mobile app for the Android and iOS applications. And you can collect hardware and software inventory for all your assets on your network. Then it comes with the user portal, and it comes with a beautiful end user portal and very minimal end user portal. So it becomes very easy for your end users to submit ticket request. And this is like highly customizable. You can customize all these end user service, we call it service catalogs and service catalogs and service request. It comes with a great form designer where you will be able to like design your own forms, and end users can submit it. They can be on top of their tickets. We have a knowledge base section for the end users. These knowledge base can be created. And not only like Bossdesk is like just a help desk system, it's completely an ITSM solution. So like you can bring in, like you can support any departments, and all departments can commingle in a single help desk system, be it like facilities um, or IT division facilities and all those kind of things. So, and also it's 100% integrates with Active Directory. So the user can be easily brought into Bossdesk. They can use their own Windows credentials for authentication and so on. Right. So, so this is the end user portal. The end user sees only this one. So once the end user creates ticket, it comes to a ticket or a request, it comes to an admin portal. On the admin portal, what we have is like a complete dashboard. Each and every dashboard is customizable. It's based on per user. So based on what role they perform, they will be able to customize their own dashboard. We have like tons of widgets in here. You can also create custom widgets to identify your own key performance indicators. And these widgets are all clickable. So you can click on any widgets and get to the underlying data in here. And we have like different forms of customization of the widgets. Some are like belong to assets, some belongs to tickets and problems and so on and so forth. On the, since the ITSM product, we do like asset management here. So we call it CMDB. So, and it also integrates with your Active Directory. So we have a small tool, discovery tool on your Active Directory. We call it Site Agent. Once you install it on your network, it helps you do a single sign-on. It collects hardware inventory, it collects software inventory, and so forth, right? So you'll be able to collect inventory on all your machines right from the software. So it gives you inventory data, what make, model, serial number, and so forth. You click on it, it gives you all the information, Active Directory information. Also, what you can also do in our product is you can pull any Active Directory information for the users or the computers using our site agents, even custom attributes on the AD, and those will be available here. Gives you a complete detailed inventory of the machine in here. You can report on it, query on it, and so on and so forth. You can link assets, all the tickets for this asset, all the linked users in here, and then we have like a software. So you can pull software inventory come on your machines. And the software inventory are linked to the machines. Then you have contracts. Contract management is one of the ITL process. You have vendor management, and we have like purchase order management in here. These purchase orders can be linked to tickets and assets and so on and so forth. On the help desk side, these are all integrated. Assets are integrated to your tickets, and so all these models of the 9 major models are integrated, and they are linked between each other. On the tickets, so you have like an end user portal. This is your end user portal. When they create tickets, these service requests are curated by your own using our form designer. Each and everything comes in the form designer. You can drag and drop and create this form designer. So it becomes very, very easy for the end user to like create request, which gives you a complete information for the agent to clear out those tickets or close out the work on those tickets. So we have tickets in here, and the tickets, this is the ticket management. On the ticket management, you can like, you can add there's a test ticket, you have description, you have private notes and public notes. The private notes are seen only by the technician. You have task, tier task, timesheet, approvals, and link to an asset, link to purchase orders, and so forth. And from here, problem management. So when you have like multiple tickets, you can roll all them into one problem, and that becomes like one single ticket, which is worked on by an agent, right? Any process change in your organization, you can do like a change management, and the change management, you can like document all the changes, be it the software, hardware, network changes, why you're changing it, what are the risk, rollout and backout strategy, and all those kind of things, approvals, tasks for the changes and everything. Okay. So that is it. So then to support all these things, like it's very highly customizable. The whole system is very highly customizable. So everything can be done by the admin of the software. We have like custom fields. You can manage your locations. All the security is based on role-based security. So you can define roles, then give permissions. You can manage teams in here. You can bring in your own mailboxes, or you can have different mailboxes, endpoints for collecting tickets. It could come from your hardware devices too. So if the hardware device is sending emails, you can collect them using an email address here. It'll become tickets, and it can go to the network team. All the notifications are customizable. You can have your own email templates too, so you can use these as part of your workflow. You can have your own SLAs, some of the supporting modules for the incident management, like you can define your own SLAs, service level agreement, for different departments. So let's say you have like a park and rec, they need a different SLA. You have like a police department, fire department. You can have different SLAs for different group of users. You can screen all the tickets, so you can like any workflow. You have like a very robust workflow engine. So when the ticket is getting created, you can apply a lot of your workflow rules. So it will all go through those rules and and implement your workflow. And as I mentioned, the service catalog, when you design the service catalog, you can also design your workflows. So when somebody's filling up a form, each and every form can we can like pinpoint this ticket. For example, like I can say any ticket coming from out of toner should go to purchase department or something like that. So you can like link this up to your routing rules, screening rules, and define your workflows in here. We do have monitors. Ticket routing is like when the ticket is getting created, monitor is during the life cycle of a ticket. So you can we have like trigger points on the ticket. So when those things happens, you can match some conditions and actions in here. That's the very high level of the system. We have groups and purchase management. You can configure purchase management. Authentication, you have a single sign-on. We can connect with SAML or Okta and all those things. We also have a password reset module. So if you want to like reset your Windows password, you can do those password resets right from Bossdesk, even in the login screen. Okay. So you have like then we have like a knowledge base where you can curate all your knowledge base into different categories. We have a scheduler component. You can schedule tickets way out of time, like a predefined tickets. This can happen any time of the year, weekly, monthly, recurring tickets, and go in here. We have like a reporting engine. So the main thing I wanted to focus on today is like, that's a very high level, the integrations. So we have a lot of integrations. Some of them are shown here. So today we're going to talk about TeamViewer. Once you have a TeamViewer, you purchase a TeamViewer license and you have Bossdesk, so you can integrate them here. This integration is written by us, so it's like a deep integration. So how does it work? Let's say a customer, end user sends you a ticket. So you can like say, look at the ticket and say, converse with the end user in here. So how it works is like you go in here and the TeamViewer, once you enable the TeamViewer session, it shows up here. So all the complexity of like running the TeamViewer for the agent and everything, no matter where they are, they will be able to run your TeamViewer instance. You just click on from this ticket, you just click on enable the session. So when we enable the session here, it will start a new session and it will create the session behind the scenes TeamViewer session and send them the link. There are multiple options available, like how the session gets started. So this is from the help desk session. They click on the end user clicks on the link as soon as they get link, and the agent can go in here and look at here. So as soon as the end user clicks on the session, they connect to it here right from your ticket, and I can take control of the screen. Okay, and here you have like multiple options. You have like from your TeamViewer, you can do a lot of things, audio, video, take remote. I can hear myself. Take remote control and everything you can do. I think so. So all the details of the TeamViewer will be, Mike will explain in sessions what you can do into it. So the basics is this thing. TeamViewer instance can be like enabled from the Bossdesk and a session executed, and you can either remote support. It could be an unattended host, unattended server. You can help the customer right from here and help them remote support, right? So I'm going to pass it on to Mike, and he will explain in depth about like what else can you do, and also we'll take some questions on the Q&A sessions and the details questions. So before I pass it on to Mike, I'll show you like once the session is ended, the agent can end the session, or the user also can end the session here. So once the session details are recorded here, all the session, how much time we spent on everything, and we can also do a report on like how much time we spent on this particular category of tickets, like remote support and everything. We can get a report, either a canned report or a custom report based on the TeamViewer usage, how much support was done on a month or a quarter, and all those things. Okay. With that, I will pass it on to Mike, and he will explain in depth the complete capability of what TeamViewer can do in your organization. Mike.
All right, thank you, Vishu. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Longley with Enterprise Solution Engineer with TeamViewer. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So as you can see here on my screen, I have the full version of TeamViewer. So this version of TeamViewer installs with admin rights. This is what's needed on the technician side of the machine or anyone making an outbound connection. It will facilitate inbound or outbound connections, so you can connect into this module as well. So when you're making a connection with TeamViewer, you can still use the traditional ID and password like you would in a even a free or a personal version. But once you move on to a licensed version or integration such as Boss, you can search through Boss for the user, just like Vishu was talking in the ticket. But you can also search for users within TeamViewer's computers and contacts lists and have different groups throughout for your organization, depending on how you have those separated out. As you see here, this is a group where we have a lot of our demo devices, and we also have groups with just contact information, and I'll get onto that a little bit further when we do an example connection. So the other software that we do offer 3 modules. We have this full version. We also have the TeamViewer host module. So as you can see here, this is a customized module. We've added an Intune logo, and change the coloring and such with your licensed version, you will have the ability to do that as well. With the host module, it does require admin rights to install. It runs as a service on the system and sits in a system tray. It only facilitates an inbound connection. So this is what we would normally recommend running on or installing on an end user machine, so that it's always available. You'll be able to connect to them at any time. You can still do an attended session with this, so you can prompt for confirmation for that end user, or this is the module you'll need if you want to use those unattended access sessions for accessing a machine, say after hours, to do updates and things like that. Now, our third and final module is our quick support module. I'm going to grab it from a customized URL, which you'll have the opportunity to do when you have a licensed version of TeamViewer. So you'll have a URL similar to this. You'll just have the ending changed, obviously, to match your company. This is exactly the process the end user would need to do if you decide to use the quick support module. So once you have that URL created, you can either give it to them verbally, you can create a button on your support page, or get it directly through the link from your Boss Solutions integration. So we'll go ahead and hit that link. It's going to download an exe file. Once that downloads, the end user will go ahead and need to run that file. Basically, this module does not install. It is a run-only module. So you can only connect to this machine or to this module when the end user has already ran it, and it has an ID password, and it's connected to the TeamViewer servers. Now, this module is going to look a little bit different. This is a customized module. It is using a session code very similar to what you see in the links within your Boss integrations as well. Not only have we changed the logoing on this module and the coloring as well, but we added a few features that you'll have in the customized design and deploy section within TeamViewer as well. So as you can see here, instead of using that traditional ID and password, we have it set up with a session code. This is automatically adding to one of the groups within our TeamViewer computers and contacts lists. So as you can see here in our TeamViewer service queue, we can see that that user is available. It pulls the username from whoever's logged into that machine. Now, it can be a standard user or an admin user. It doesn't require any special user rights to use the quick support module. The field is editable on the end user side as well. So if that person doesn't go by that name, maybe they go by a nickname, they can go ahead and edit that if need be. As you can see here, we also added a description field in here. So if the end user typed in like, hey, my second monitor went out, those type of items, the technician would actually see this over here. So it comes in to be very helpful. If a user pops up here and you have your technicians trained to watch a specific group, they can see when a user needs help and what the issue is before they even contact them. Now, to connect to this module, you have two different options. As you can see here on the right-hand side, you can use remote control, prompt for confirmation. That's going to give that user the traditional allow prompt, and they have to allow that connection before TeamViewer session starts, and then brings you into that full TeamViewer session. Now, with the quick support, since it will run as any user, right now we're logged in as a standard user. If you need to control any type of UAC prompts for installing software or admin functionality, you need to use the option remote control using Windows authentication. So with this, if we click on that option, as you see here, we'll need to log in with a admin account to elevate the TeamViewer module to be able to present to the technician those UAC prompts. Now, we're not doing anything with the end user login. They stay the same standard user. We are just elevating that TeamViewer module to run as that admin and display those prompts to us. So as you see, this is a normal behavior. The module will close. The end user will get one UAC prompt for a yes, and any user can hit this yes. And we're going to see that module pop back up, and it's going to use that new credentialing that I had added, and run that session as that user, so that I can go into that machine, control the UAC prompts, and do any tasks that I need to on that machine. So if I jump into control panel here real quick, you'll be able to see that I can now interact with the UAC prompts just as you would see on the user side, and go ahead and pass those that information through just as if I were sitting in front of that machine. Now, for connecting to a host module, it is offers some slight differences and benefits as well. So let me jump over back onto that machine. So this module, it can be installed with an EXE. It can be deployed with an MSI deployment package as well. With the MSI deployment package, you have the ability to grant easy access. And what that means for you is instead of, connecting to the machine with that prompt confirmation or manually entering in a password, easy access gives you the ability to find that machine in your computers and contacts list or in Boss integration, and then double click on that name and instantly connect to that machine. So searching for it in TeamViewer, you can use the bar at the top, or you can find it in your list. Once you find that machine, as you see here, you have that prompt for confirmation or use password option. But with easy access, I can just double click on that name, and it instantly brings me into that machine without having to enter in any type of credentialing. Now, while you're in that TeamViewer session, you do have the toolbar along the top at all times. To give you a highlight of some of the options in here, the home button will give you some quick information, performance, disk health, security alerts, device specifics. So once you remote into that machine, if you can't remember the specs on that machine or you need a little more information, you can click on that home button. In the Actions tab, we have the quick steps section here. It is a static section. You can't edit it, but it gives you a quick 2-click access to a lot of the popular admin functions on the remote machine. We also support passing scripts. So we don't supply any of the scripts, but you can write them on your own. Put them, say, in a centralized repository. The technician can then add them to their TeamViewer so they can pass those through that session. We also support rebooting the remote machine directly through TeamViewer. Now that's beneficial to you because instead of going to start and restart and then having to wait for that end user to tell you when they're back up and running so you can reconnect, it will prompt that technician to ask if they want to reconnect when the machine's available. If they choose yes, the machine will go ahead and reboot. And then once it reboots and starts coming back up right before the Windows login prompt, the technician will get a prompt again, just as a confirmation that they still want to reconnect. If they choose yes, they'll be brought into that Windows login screen. That comes in very handy, especially on those unattended sessions when nobody's at that computer and you need to log back in as that administrator. Now you also have the ability to disable the remote input on the end user machine. So if you're working on someone's machine and they happen to be mouse or click happy, you can take away their access temporarily. You can also show a black screen. So as you see here, once I do that, it shows a TeamViewer logo now that says work securely. You'll also be able to edit that with your own graphic. That comes in handy if you're doing something with, say, maybe clear text passwords, some proprietary information or HIPAA information, and you don't need the end user to see that. We can go ahead and hide that screen. Now, I also have the ability to invite additional participants to your TeamViewer session. So as I mentioned earlier with that group with the contacts in it, let's say you had a technician working on a machine and either you have a new technician on the team and you have a training opportunity for them, you can invite them into the session to learn from that session. Or if the technician runs into a roadblock and they need someone else to put eyes on the situation, they can go ahead and invite another technician in, and then they can collaborate together on that issue and work on it and resolve it together. Now onto the view section here. As you can see, we can change the scaling of the TeamViewer window. We can also change the quality of the connection. We also support changing the screen resolution on the end user's machine. So we'll present here whatever resolution that graphics card presents to us on that end user machine. If we came in and say it was at the 800 by 600 and we wanted to bump it up to the optimal, it would change the screen resolution for the TeamViewer session, but as soon as we close it out, it would revert back to the original resolution. And on the resolutions, we do support up to 4K. So if that end user's machine supports 4K, we will present those options to you. Now we also support multiple monitors. So as you can see from this handy graphic, and let me make it a little bit larger, once you connect to a machine with multiple monitors, you will have icons for monitor 1 and 2, and then 3 and beyond, you'll have a drop-down menu. At this time, we do support up to 30 monitors from a remote connection. One last option here to point out is the show sessions and tabs. If I check this box and then connected to multiple people as one technician, instead of having many windows kind of scattered throughout my monitors, it will have every one of those sessions listed up here along the top of the window, very similar to, say, a Chrome browser session. Onto the communicate section here. As you see, we can switch sides with partner. We can support voice over IP calls during that TeamViewer session. We can also chat with that end user. So if they happen to call you from a cell phone and the call drops, you can send them a quick message either to call you back or, hey, I only have a couple steps left. I'll jump out of your machine as soon as I'm finished. We also have the ability to annotate on that screen. So this little menu will pop up as on the technician side, and you'll have these abilities to use pens, highlighters, text boxes, and being able to draw circles and shapes as well. That comes in very handy if, let's say, you have an end user that has a couple hundred icons on their desktop. They're trying to find the one that you're already found and pointing out. You could go ahead and circle that for easeability of them finding that icon. Now in the last section here is the files and extras. As the technician, we can go ahead and take a screenshot of that remote session or that remote machine. We can also start a session recording. Now by default, this is a manual process that the technician would have to initiate. However, through our policies, you can have an auto session recording set up so that every technician session is recorded for every remote session and then saved to, say, a network repository where you can go back and review those. We also offer the ability to do file transfers. So if I click on this option here, you see it's a traditional style file transfer. We can hit any local as well as network locations if they are connected to a network, and we can send files in either direction. We can also do a drag and drop file transfer as well. So once we drop that on there, as you see, it's already on that end user machine, and we can go ahead and access that file. Now, as you see down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we always notify the end user of any action taking place with TeamViewer for security and privacy reasons. So as you can see, both of those file transfer methods were included with that. So the end user knows that that had taken place. We also have this box down here to notify the user that a TeamViewer session is active, and it also shows what technician is into that machine. Yeah, I'm not sure if you noticed when I did connect to this machine, it minimized within a few moments. That is a policy setting. Otherwise, the default action is for it to stay up just like this. And then you can manually either move the window around or minimize that as well. So from here, I'd like to cover our last section, which is the TeamViewer Management Console. Now with a management console, it gives you a centralized location where you can manage your users, your groups, your TeamViewer licensing, as well as those custom deploy modules. So the easiest way to get there, if you're logged into your full version of TeamViewer, come up here to Connection, go to Open User Management. This is going to go ahead and open the web page and automatically log you in. Now you can go into a browser and go to login.teamviewer.com. It will make you manually log in if you go using that method. Once you're in here, as you see here, we do use a generic type account for our main login. We do recommend that as a best practice instead of a named account in case that person happens to leave the company or maybe move departments. Then you don't have to work with them to get that access back. Once you create that account and log in, you'll have to create a company. Once you create a company name, it is just, you'll be brought to the user management where you can then start adding your technicians. You have multiple options to add technicians. We do have an Active Directory integration. You also have a couple manual methods, so you can use add user. This is going to be for someone who doesn't have any type of TeamViewer account. The password would just be a temp password for them to log in for the first time. And then once you click add user, that will go ahead and send that user a link. They can click on in their email and then get started with that account. Now, if somebody has a pre-existing TeamViewer account, say even if it's for a free account for friends and family, you can add them to your company by sending them this URL. They'll log in with your admin email address. They only just need the email address to specify the company, and then they'll log in with their information to add their account to your company. Once you have the users in here, we have 3 different levels of user permissions. So we have the company administrator. They basically have the keys to the castle. They can control all of your users. They can control all of your groups down here on the left-hand side. And then the licensing is encapsulated up here in the top right. They have access to that as well. Then we have just a standard administrator. This person has very similar rights to the company admin as far as users and groups, but they can't change anything with the licensing. So you have to be a company admin to change licensing. And then the third and final account access that we have is just a standard user here. This person will be able to use your TeamViewer license for those outbound connections to support your clients and internal users, but they won't have any access to your actual company information within TeamViewer. So when they log in to login.teamviewer.com, they will only see their own user account here. And as far as the groups go, they'll only see the groups that you share with them. So as you see over here in the groups, like that, this is the one that I picked on in the beginning of the call. Once we have that group created, we can click on this crayon or pencil icon and choose share, and then go ahead and share that out with any technicians that we need to. So that way they have access to the machines that are in that group. Now, once you share that out, they'll only be able to see that group. So like we have many groups here. If I had one user that just shared that group out, they'll only be able to see that CLWEAM group, as well as everyone has a My Computers group. So from here, we can go into logging. Now for the integrations, corporate licensing is one of our most popular licensing for that type of area. And in there you have connection reports for user reports and device reports, just like you see here. And then you'll be able to see what users and connections are being made within your environment. So as you can see here, this user connected to this specific machine name. That machine had this ID and then has a start and stop time and a duration for that connection. Then we also have a handy graph up here, so you can see by light colors, low connection times of the day, and then darker colors show higher connections times of the day. So you can see when are busy times when you need more technicians on hand. Now, if we scroll up here as well to the design and deploy section, this is where you're going to create those customized modules. So if I pick on the account that I'm logged in as, we can take a look at that quick support module that I had pointed out. As you can see, any of these balloon items you can change and edit. And then you can make changes on the right-hand side. So if we uncheck this box, it takes it back to that traditional ID and password, or we can have it automatically add to a group by checking that box and having a drop down. Here's where we can add that description. And then one thing I'd like to point out is an SOS button. If you check that box when they run the EXE for the first time, it'll create a desktop icon with a TeamViewer logo. And then that way they don't have to find that download link or where they saved it to. They can just click on that logo and run that module. And then down here is where you have the ability to edit that URL. Now you can also do some similar things with the host module. So if I jump over here to this host module, this is the one that we're just working on. Again, you have the same customizations. The one thing I like to point out here, you have the ability to use a download deployment package that pulls an exe file, as well as the customized link pulls an exe file. That will install the host module and give your customizations, but it doesn't adhere to the options on the right. These are for the MSI deployment package. So you would download the MSI deployment package. You would then use a custom command line parameter to have this information added when the installation is taking place. So we'd grab the custom config ID. You would grab your API token. During the installation, that would automatically assign this installation to your TeamViewer account. And then once it does that, it's going to look to see if you have this option enabled. This will drop that machine's name into whatever group that you had specified from your groups within TeamViewer, your TeamViewer company installation. All right. that is all I have for the TeamViewer overview. I will go ahead and pass the back to Julie when she'll go ahead and take care of the questions and answers section.
Okay, thank you so much, Mike. So now on to answering your questions. Also, I did want to mention joining us as well today is David Fletcher. He is in sales for TeamViewer. So sales related questions for TeamViewer will be directed to him, and engineering questions for the products will be either to Vishu with Boss or Mike with TeamViewer. So our first question, this is actually for Boss. Is the TeamViewer integration included as a standard feature in Bossdesk? Okay, Vishu?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so it's not included as default. It's an optional integration module. So you can talk to your one of your sales rep and get this module added to your subscription. So once it's added, then you'll be able to like integrate with your TeamViewer license in here.
Okay, great. Our next question, let's see. What configuration is required to set it up in Bossdesk? Vishu?
Okay, so let me share my screen and I can show. Okay, once you talk to your sales rep and the integration is enabled from the Boss side, so you will see under integrations, you will be seeing the TeamViewer. So you go to the TeamViewer, and in the TeamViewer thing, you will generate a script token, or we call it script token. It's an API key. Basically, you will create a new product called, in the TeamViewer, you'll say a product called Bossdesk, and get a token in here and put that token in here and enable it. Once it's enabled, that's all you have to do. Once it's enabled, you will see your integration enabled in any tickets you are getting in. Once it's enabled, you will see it here. Let me show you on this one. You'll see the TeamViewer enabled in here. Okay.
Okay, wonderful. All right, the next question is, oh, I just lost it. Are there any TeamViewer case studies on how customers have benefited from using the system? David, I think I'm going to toss that one to you.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. And that's a good question. We absolutely have case studies. I'd say one that comes to mind that's specifically around this one is we recently just worked with a Fortune 10 company that was looking to consolidate their organization into a single platform for their service desk. The integration included for call resolution went from 60% to 83%. And from a chat ticket perspective, it went from 20 minutes and 47 seconds to 15 minutes and 40 seconds. So the service desk agents were able to increase 23% just in the first call resolution. So being able to answer questions on the first call. And they were able to reduce chat ticket times from 20 minutes to 15 minutes. So for 25% on that one.
Okay, wow. That's a lot to absorb. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. The next question that we have. Once a session is started, does the TeamViewer session end automatically after a while of inactivity, since it doesn't allow a closed ticket if the session is active?
Yeah, that's a question for me. Right now, there's a bug in the system, and we have already addressed that. So you will, on the new, once we deploy the new version, it will like automatically, when you close the ticket, it will automatically close the session and also close the ticket. Okay, right now, you need to like come here and manually end the session and close the ticket. But we have taken care of that.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Question. Okay, Mike, this one looks like it's for you. Can you comment on how your products maintain high security during software updates?
Yes, definitely. We're always working. We have to ensure a secure platform. We have a dedicated security team that is always working on updating the software. We do release a major version every year, as well as over time, every couple months or so, or depending on if one is needed out sooner, we do release minor versions, or some like to call them hot fixes as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Next question. On the APP key generation, I see two places under my personal account, which is the corporate administrator, and an option under the company profile.
Michael, do you want to take that question? It's talking about the script token generation.
Yeah, I can answer that in more detail offline here.
Okay.
It depends on the situation as far as which API key needs to be used. In some situations, they are a little more specific. So I'll definitely get that user's information, and we can definitely answer that offline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I do have another one for you, Mike, kind of similar. Let me know if it needs to be online or offline. The question is, when creating the token in TeamViewer, what are the default options to select? For example, user management, session management, etc.
Okay, we have a forum topic on that one. So we will send you a one-page document on that one. So that will help you out. We have screenshots and a document describing the default options you need to select.
We also have some API key documentation as well. Excuse me, I can't talk this afternoon. And we can definitely get that over to Vishu and get that all sent out to you as well.
Okay. And then I'm seeing a lot more questions on if we need information, who should we contact for the TeamViewer product? You would contact your sales representative with Boss, and we would connect you then with David, who will then get you the demonstration, and we can supply the information from there. Let's see. Another one, does TeamViewer integration work with Boss Support Central, or does it just work with Bossdesk? Vishu?
No, it does work with Boss Support Central too.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, another question. With the Bossdesk integration of TeamViewer, when you connect to an external user, does the connection module stay on the user's computer, or does it uninstall once the session is complete?
So for the TeamViewer module itself, using that link that was shown in the tickets, that is the TeamViewer Quick Support module. That is an EXE that does not install. So as soon as the end user clicks the top X or the X in the right-hand corner to close out that module, the module is no longer on that machine unless they downloaded and saved that EXE. But the instance is no longer running and it's not installing anything permanent.
All right, thank you. Okay, guys, so we are running short on time. If we did not get to your questions, we will be reaching out to you to answer those. If you need help integrating TeamViewer with Boss, please, let us know, and we will definitely do that. Or if you're interested in licenses, reach out to us as well. And so now we will be selecting the lucky winners of 3 $50 Amazon gift cards. And the winners are Jeff McIntyre from Isothermal College of Education, a Brian King with Pacific University, and Value Schools, Jose Escobar. All right, so we will make sure and get those out to you. And if you have any other questions, like I said, if you guys need help, integrating your existing TeamViewer with Boss, please reach out to, sales at Boss Solutions and or your dedicated sales rep, and we'll take care of that for you. Or if you would like a demonstration and pricing on getting TeamViewer to add to Bossdesk, or learning even more about Bossdesk in general, please let us know. We can be reached at sales at boss-solutions or 678-684-1200. I'd like to thank you all again for joining us today. And please don't forget that short survey that's after. I promise it's very short. We just really want to make sure that we're bringing you the content that you want to see. And as always, we love your feedback. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, David. Thank you, Vishu. And everybody have a wonderful afternoon.